This tutorial will be showing how to add a glowing light effect using Shotcut. This could be an easy way to turn a still image into something you could use as a video intro like I did for this video. So to start off, we are going to open the program Shotcut. If you don't have Shotcut, this is open source, so you can download it on the internet wherever you find your open source software. But to start, we will go to our Start menu and open up the program. Once the program is open, we'll go to the top left and click Open File to select the image or video that you want to use for the effect. I'm using a still image that I created for this video. Next, I will click and on the playlist tab near the bottom left, and that will open my playlist tool. Once the playlist is open, I will click on the file I just uploaded and drag it into my playlist just to keep track of the file. Then I will select that file and drag and drop it down to my timeline in order to make it a editable video clip. This image is turned into about a 4-second clip. Okay. For this effect, I will be using filters and transitions. So I'm going to copy and paste a couple of different versions of the image I just put into the timeline. So right click to copy and Control V, so that I will have 3 copies. Depending on exactly what you want to accomplish, you can do more, but this was a good way to start for me. Next, I'm going to select the first copy I made, so that would be the second frame in the timeline. Once I have that selected, I'm going to drag my play mark tool so that I can see as I'm adding filters to this frame. Next, I'm going to click on the filters tab. It's right by the playlist tab I clicked on earlier. A menu will pop up. I'm going to click the plus button that is going to add a filter. Now a menu appeared. I'm going to click on the monitor icon, which is video filters, and to start I will click saturation. I'm going to set the saturation for this effect at 300%. This should be noticeable since we've got the play mark tool over the frame. Once I've got it where I want it, in this case 300%, I'm going to click the plus tool again to add another filter, and this time I'm going to go to glow. I'm going to set the glow at 50%, which is the preset, but you can adjust this however you want. Okay, once we've got this second frame done, we'll click on the third frame. The filters tab should still be open. I'll click the plus button again to add filter. I'm going to desaturate this image, so I'm going to click on the saturation filter again, but this time instead of going up, I'm going to drag it down to 0. As you can see, if your play mark tool is on that frame, the saturation level went to 0, so it should be black and white, whereas the last one is oversaturated. Okay, so now we've basically created the only 2 frames we need for this effect. So first I will click on my second frame, the saturated image, and I'll create a copy and paste, Control C and Control V. Next I'll click on my desaturated image, again copy and paste in my timeline, Control C and Control V, and I'm going to keep alternating between my oversaturated and desaturated frame as many times as you want. So now I will take my play mark tool back to the beginning and just show a preview. As you can see, the transition from oversaturated to desaturated is not exactly what we want, which is why we're going to use transitions in order to blend these together to create a lighting and dimming effect. So to do this, I'm going to click on my second frame and I'm going to drag it so that it's overlapping about halfway over the first frame. Next, I'm going to click on my third frame, my desaturated image. As you can see, if you try to drag it over like you did the first one, it won't work. So you'll need to drag it with the magnet tool engaged so that it's next to it. And then once it's clipped next to it, you're going to click on the third frame, drag it over the second frame, and let go so that a transition between the two is created. If you have any issues creating that transition, make sure to drag the clip next to the previous frame so that it clips next to it, and then try dragging over to create that transition. Now the length of the transitions can be adjusted by hovering your mouse over the end of the transition and dragging the transition to fit the length that you want. Again, this will increase the amount of time taken to transition from desaturated to saturated and back. As you see in the preview here, the transition is quite a bit more smooth than the alternating that it was before. Another, I'm going to keep it the same for this one, but if you want to adjust the way that the light transitions, click on the transition frame, then click the Properties tab next to the Playlist and Filters tab. That will allow you to adjust the type of transition that you're going to be using. This will affect the way that the light and saturation changes between clips. Now, once you have that, you can make any other adjustments you want using the Filters or the Properties tab, but that's about it for this tutorial on how to create a glow effect using Shotcut. So there might be an easier way to get this done, or faster, simpler, but this was the way I did it. So thank you for watching.